Radio, Real Girls, Radio Villa Maria. Good afternoon. It's 2:17, I'm Jackie Lee, and you're tuned in to Villa Maria Radio. Leading headlines recently are full of updates on the missing Malaysian plane. Flight 370 left Malaysia at 12:40 a.m. March 8th with 230 passengers and crew on board. They were supposed to land in Beijing at 6:30 a.m., but there has been no sight of the plane since. A Canadian couple, Muktish Mukherjee, a former Montreal resident, and Yao Mao Bei were on vacation in Vietnam with their 2 children before they boarded Flight 370. This family was alongside hundreds of other passengers, including 2 holding stolen passports. 2 men from Austria and Italy were listed as passengers on the plane, yet were not found on the flight as their passports had been stolen when they were in Thailand. The plane's path was completely changed mid-flight with no reason as to why or to where.
Which we do know happened because this airplane went from a northeasterly direction, basically made a U-turn, and now is heading in a southwesterly direction. Flew back across the Malay Peninsula through 3 discrete military radar zones who all saw the airplane as a dot, not as a big block, which you would see if the transponder was on.
Many theories to explain this missing flight have emerged to the medias, such as a possible hijacking mid-flight as a political statement, intentional sabotage, as well as mechanical failure forcing the plane into an unexpected landing or crash. Aviation experts and news watchers have been looking into Flight 370 since. Also leading headlines include news and controversy with our upcoming elections. We have Jenna with more on that.
Et une autre page s'ouvre sur l'histoire de notre peuple. Pour la première fois, le gouvernement du Québec sera dirigé par une femme. Élu un gouvernement pour qui la francophonie est vitale, que ce soit en Amérique du Nord ou ailleurs sur la planète. C'est l'essence même de notre projet que d'ouvrir toutes grandes les portes du monde.
As many of you know, Pauline Marois has called an election for April 7th. If she wins this election, her party will become a majority government, meaning that there is a high chance that Quebec becomes its own country. Many oppose to this, while others love the idea. According to a recent study, 43% of Quebecers aged 13 to 34 strongly disagree with the idea of Quebec becoming independent, while the remaining 57% either strongly agree or are not sure. Pierre-Carl Pelado, member of the Parti Québécois, stated that he wants to make Quebec to separate so he can give his kids a country. This statement put the Liberals in the lead with a 39% of support from Quebecers. If Quebec were to separate, wouldn't economically we do very poorly? Are there any upsides to the separation? According to the Premier, Quebec would be the 18th largest country in the world and claims its productivity would put the country in a good company with the UK, France, and Japan. So really, what does this mean for our generation, our future? Is Quebec becoming independent really that bad, or will it put the province in extreme debt? Back to you, Jackie.
Thank you, Jenna. Northern wildlife officials have called for a meeting in the North Arctic region of Quebec last Wednesday to discuss the issue with the unregulated polar bear hunt in our province. Hunting bears in the south of the Hudson Bay has been very common and has had a 60 bears a year cap on it for about 5 years now. However, with the climate change, polar bears are decreasing in numbers as it is, and the hunters refuse, nevertheless, to lower the numbers of bears they kill. Leading Canadian scientists, including Durocher, explain that we need to adapt to the constant changing of our climate, and we need to preserve our wildlife. If they don't establish new quotas, it will harm Canada's polar bear management, as well as Canada's credibility among the rest of the globe. The last Canadian soldiers that were deployed in Afghanistan returned home yesterday, along with the news that 2 soldiers had taken their own lives. Elaine Lacasse and Tyson Washburn both survived their time in Afghanistan, but were reported dead this weekend. Officials won't reveal further details as they were both reported suicides. However, this has brought up the topic that justice teams are not dealing with the post-traumatic stress disorders properly. Military psychiatrist Rakesh Jetli informed that there will be an increasing amount of people dealing with the PTSD within the next decade with those who have returned from Afghanistan. This is going to require more assistance from justice teams before it gets out of hand. Now, you'll be hearing from Liana with your sports news and updates.
Thank you, Jackie. Now, last weekend, the Montreal Canadiens faced the Ottawa Senators in a very exciting game. With Carey Price back in nets after a 2-week break due to a lower body injury, the Canadiens made a huge comeback from losing 4-1 at the end of the third period to winning 5-4 in overtime. The Senators were more than furious. That night became the first time in NHL history that a team won trailing by 3 goals in the last 5 minutes of the game. The next day, their luck seemed to have followed them as they won against the Buffalo Sabres and again won 2-0. Another big event that happened this weekend was the UFC Welterweight Championship. After Georges St-Pierre, native of Quebec, gave up his belt a few months back after winning against Johnny Hendricks, Hendricks finally got a second chance at it against Robbie Lawler and won the belt. Now, for your Villa Sports updates. Our swim team is on fire as one of its members, Morgan Haddad Cameron, recently won Athlete of the Month. Another member, Sierra Spagnuolo, now in secondary 5, has snatched a bronze medal in the 50-meter butterfly, as well as a silver in the 100-meter medley. Our basketball team seems to be doing equally well as they beat ECS for the GMAA Bantam title. Villa is also introducing a new sport activity, the triathlon. It's a 500-meter swim, a 5K bike ride, and a 5K run. Actually, Kira, our host, is going to be participating in it, and I know she's been working hard and attending every training session, so I wish her the best of luck. Now, with your entertainment news, Ali?
Lady Gaga never fails to disappoint when it comes to originality and creativity. Before performing her first ever SXSW, she appeared on Jimmy Kimmel Live wearing a dress made out of coffee filters only. And it's no shocker that Lady Gaga is full of surprises, but did she take it too far? While performing her song Swine in Austin, Texas, she had a girl vomit a green-like substance all over her, and there watching her was thousands of people. Not all her fans were very pleased, and there was a lot of controversy. Famous star Demi Lovato went out to Twitter and shared her thoughts on Lady Gaga's performance, saying it was glamorizing eating disorders. Following is actress Scarlett Johansson, who appeared on the red carpet for Captain America: The Winter Soldier premiere. She recently revealed that she was pregnant with her first child, so all eyes were on her and her growing baby bump. In further news, even though Miley Cyrus may not be the best role model right now, she still hasn't stopped giving back and caring for her fans. Lulu Martinez, a young woman from Minnesota, is currently battling leukemia for the second time, and she desperately wanted to meet with Miley. She tried to reach out to Miley through Twitter, and it worked. Miley recently met with Lulu and helped her dreams come true by bringing her backstage after a concert to spend some time with her. I'm Ali, and you're listening to Real Radio, Real Girls, Radio Villa Maria.
Thanks, Ali. I'll be throwing the rest of the show off to your host, Kira.
Thanks, Jackie. Good afternoon, Montreal. I'm Kira, and I'll be your host for today's show. You're tuned in to Real Radio, Real Girls, Radio Villa Maria. On the show today, we've got the full scoop on Villa Maria's trip to We Day, an anatomically correct Barbie, model scouting and its effect on young women, vacationing trips to Jamaica, a review on the Broadway musical Pippin, and finally, we have here with us today a special guest. We won't reveal who yet. Coming up next, Sierra will be covering with us her trip to London for the 2014 We Day UK. She got to hear inspiring icons and legends, do some humanitarian work herself, while also spending some of the time to visit London. Sierra?
Hi, I'm Sierra for Real Radio, Real Girls. And so last week I was in London and I attended the first ever We Day UK. Basically, We Day is a massive event where people from around the world come to celebrate themselves with inspirational speakers and artists. And so there was a massive amount of people from Canada. So there were people from Vancouver, people from Montreal, obviously. And we were just all sat in this big block, and we were really, really close to the stage. And it was really cool because there was Malala, and Malala was amazing because she's a person just like us, And it was so nice to hear her story because she's all over the news, but there we just got to see the real Malala, and she told us her story and what she thinks about everything. And she was just so patient saying her story, and she's a very, very good speaker. And what I love was that all the speakers were reading off of a teleprompter, but she wasn't. So she had her speech memorized, she knew what she was saying, and it was just really great to see her. And there was also other people like Molly Burke, Spencer West, Al Gore, and then there were some performers like Ellie Goulding, Birdie, Sam and the Womp, the Tenors.
Birdie was there?
Yeah, Birdie was there.
She has a lot of music that's really, like, the lyrics are inspiring too.
Yeah, she was really great. She played the piano and she got up and she danced a bit. She was
Birdie.
she was really great. And also Prince Harry was there.
Really?
So yeah, that was really crazy. But it's funny because I expected Prince Harry to come in a suit and with like bodyguards and everything, but he came in a blue flannel and jeans, and I was really shocked, and he was really nervous. And he even like got off the stage and he was scratching his head because he was so nervous, and I was shocked because I thought he'd be so confident.
Was he reading from a teleprompter? Or?
He was.
He was?
Yeah, they were pretty much all reading from the teleprompter, but...
Does that like make the performance... It sounds like it would make the performance like less animated.
Yeah, it does, but I don't find it was less animated. I find everyone's speech was still amazing.
Was it televised?
I think so, yeah.
Okay,
it was,
that's probably why. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So We Day UK was amazing. It was the first one ever, and it was an amazing turnout. And also Mark and Craig Kielberger were there. I find them amazing speakers. Like, they weren't reading off the teleprompter, and they just have such a good connection with each other when they're on stage. They speak really quickly, but they speak in such a good and animated way, like you said. And I love to see them together. And then, like you mentioned, I did some humanitarian work. And so one day we went to a garden, and it was in a community for people who aren't as well off in London.
Okay.
And they have a big, big garden in the front of their homes. And so we got to plant apple trees, and we got to plant a whole bunch of different plants all around. And that was probably the best day of the trip because we got to see the children there, and we got to see who were helping.
Yeah, of course, and you got to meet people too.
Yeah, we got to meet. We got to work, a group of us, we were about 6 girls, and the other girls did other things. So the girls that did the planting, we were about 6, and we worked with a man named Marco, and he was from Italy, and he came to London to work for gardening, and so it was really nice to work with him. And then the rest of the days we did touring of London, but the best days had to have been the gardening and the We Day.
That's amazing. You know, I almost went on this trip, and hearing you say this, I regret it so much.
I'm sorry.
I should have went.
Yeah,
so
you should have.
What about your experiences? Like, did anything weird happen? Did you have
Something actually did that happened that was really weird. On the very first day, we had free time in Covent Garden. Okay. So we had about 3 hours, and my friends and I, we decided to go for lunch. And so we stopped in front of this pie shop because we wanted something like a typical British lunch. And so we went to a pie shop, and I stood in front of the pie menu, and I was taking pictures of it because I was like, oh my gosh, pies. And so then a lady that was in the shop, she came outside, and she's like, girls, I just want to tell you something. And so I thought it was because I was taking pictures. So I like hid my iPod. And she's like, I was just wondering, we have this actor here with us today, and he's doing a show for CBBC, which is the children's version of BBC, and he's doing a little segment where he's reading a review, and someone has to eat a pie quicker than he can finish the review. And then she asked if one of us wanted to do it. My friend pointed at me. She's like, Sierra, you do it. And I was like, okay, because this was really random. And
you did it? You ate the pie?
Yeah, so I said, okay, sure. So we went in. There was like a whole bunch of TV, like cameras and everything, and I was sat in front of it, and then the actor was in front of me, and he had his review, and they were all really nice, and they just said, eat the pie normally, just like, and I was like, I could use the fork and knife, and they were like, yeah, just eat it normally. And so I was eating it really, really slowly. And so yeah, we had to do like 2 takes because I was eating so slowly, but it was pretty weird on the first day for that to happen.
Yeah, that is weird. What a coincidence. And did you go to Nando's?
No, but we passed by it so many times.
Yeah, I think because you're such a fan of One Direction, right?
Yeah, I really wanted to go in, but we had no time.
Thank you, Sierra. Coming up next, an anatomically correct Barbie. Finally, could this be a breakthrough for the world of children's toys? Here we have the story of someone who is, in their own creative way, making a difference.
Hiya, Barbie.
Hi, Ken.
You want to go for a ride?
Sure, Ken.
Jump in.
I'm a Barbie girl in the Barbie world.
Barbie, I mean, who hasn't heard of her? You know, she's a little blonde doll that many young girls love and play with. Almost everyone's had a Barbie doll growing up, or has played with one, or has to have had at least just heard of her. Barbie has been around for a really long time, since 1959 actually, present in the lives of young girls. Barbie is still selling to many young girls worldwide, even though she's gotten a lot of scrutiny. She's gotten a lot of negativity mainly because of her unrealistic body proportions. Barbie apparently represents a real-life girl that would be 6 feet tall and weigh 100 pounds, with a 36-inch bust, 18-inch waist, and 33-inch hips. It's a possibility that some young girls growing up with these Barbie dolls may believe they must have this thin body, like their Barbie, and may even try very hard to achieve it. Because Barbie dolls are usually introduced at a young age, self-esteem issues can start early on, becoming worse and worse as a young girl grows older. According to the Barbie Effect study, it's estimated that 8 million people in the U.S. had or still has had an eating disorder. 85 to 90% of them being females, and 80% of those females being under the age of 20. Many of the women also admitted that they started worrying about their weight between the age of 4 and 6, which is around the age that girls usually get their first Barbie dolls. Basically, Barbie puts the pressure on young girls to look as perfect as her, but these tiny measurements are unattainable for girls. According to Barbie's design vice president, Kim Kuhlman, who was just trying to stop all the backlash against the doll, said that Barbie's body was never designed to be realistic. She was designed for girls to easily dress and undress. But as we all probably know from our childhood experiences with Barbies, it is actually pretty difficult to dress them, but because of the stiff miniature clothing pieces. Luckily, there's this new project in the making that is trying to change the way young girls are perceived in the media. Maybe you've seen pictures of it online. Basically, it's a new Barbie doll that has a more realistic body. This project is going viral all over the internet. Even Demi Lovato has seen it and is happy about the change she is seeing. Nikolai Lamb created this new Barbie. Well, actually, the doll's name is not Barbie, but Lamely. Lamely represents the real average American woman. Lamely is a little shorter than Barbie. She has articulated wrists, knees, elbows, and feet. She dresses like an average girl, like not too fancy and sparkly. She wears minimal makeup, and most importantly, she promotes a healthy lifestyle. She also has a variety of different outfits. Like there's one that's a casual outfit, which is her main outfit, another normal everyday outfit, a regular dress, and even a fitness outfit. Another really important feature about the Lamely doll, in my opinion, is that she does not have the blonde hair that the famous Barbie doll and most Barbie dolls have. Instead, Lamely has brown hair and brownish eyes. There's just one problem. Lamely is not a reality yet. The goal right now is the hopes of raising $95,000 by fundraising to create more Lamely dolls, so they can eventually be sold in retail stores within the same price range of already existing dolls. The creator, Nikolai Lamb, has said that he has tested the few Lamely dolls he has already made on his young cousins and said that they really like them. Average is beautiful. That's the slogan for the Lamely doll, which is a great message in my opinion. Everyone should just be happy with who they really are and not believe that they have to go to extremes to resemble an unrealistic image like that of Barbie. Her body is not the only thing that's unrealistic. Like, I don't know if you've noticed, but almost every Barbie doll out there is dressed as a princess or something else like that, which is pretty extreme. I find that it's really impressive, though, that a man started this project and that he wants to make a change. I think the word should really be spread about this doll so it gains more attention and hopefully sooner or later becomes a reality.
Thank you, Melanie. You're listening to Real Radio for Real Girls, Radio Villa Maria. Coming up next, how model scouting is impacting the children of our generation. These girls will compete and give up everything for a dream based on a lie. After that, do you listen to the beat? Perhaps you'll recognize the voice of our next guest. Find out more after the break.
Even if
Welcome back. You're listening to Real Radio for Real Girls, Radio Villa Maria. Here with us today we have Zoe, who's going to tell us a bit about some fun, interesting things you can do in Jamaica that aren't as touristic as you may have thought.
Spring break, a time to relax and get away. While some of you were taking advantage of the cold by enjoying activities like skiing, I was enjoying the warm waters of Negril, Jamaica. It really is the stereotypical tropical island, stunning white beaches, lush foliage, and tropical weather all year round. However, for the people that have not been, I'm going to tell you about the island's hidden gems, as well as the best places to eat, sleep, and swim, which is pretty much the Jamaican vacationer's routine. Jamaican cuisine is very varied. You can enjoy a 5-star meal or a simple home-cooked dish. The best meal we had so far was at a resort called Rock House, where we enjoyed the best coconut shrimp we've ever tasted, while enjoying a cliffside view of the waters. However, if you go to Jamaica, the main destination to go is Rick's Cafe, the most famous bar and restaurant in Jamaica. It has become a tradition to go there to sip tropical drinks while watching the stunning sunset over the waters. One of Jamaica's hidden gems were their waterfalls. Many of them lack the loud tourist trap vibe, but do not lack warm azure waters and other scenery. Another enjoyable activity is snorkeling amongst the stunning coral and fish, which you can do either at a cliff resort on the south side of Negril or Smile Islands in the north. Most places to stay in Negril are nice. There are places for everyone. Whether you enjoyed the scenic and serene places on the cliffs or the beautiful beachfront resorts, there's something for everyone. I could really recommend Negril for almost any traveler, from the 7-mile beach of white sand and turquoise waters, or the cliffside scenery from the fun nightlife and richness in culture. The majority of people are sure to find something they love in Jamaica.
Thank you. I myself actually also went to Jamaica a few years ago. I stayed at Beaches Negril, and I had a really good time. I got to visit Rick's Cafe. I got to see everything, and it was really beautiful.
It really is.
Now we have a critique of the Broadway musical Pippin from Chloe, who went to New York City over the break and actually saw the musical herself. Critics are calling it the greatest show of the Broadway season, amazing and eye-popping.
So this past March break, I had the amazing opportunity to go to New York City with my family, and of course, what would a trip to the Big Apple be without going to see a Broadway show? With not much clue of what the show was about, my mom decided we would see Pippin, a musical revival from 40 years ago based on the novel Pippin by Roger O'Hearson. It even won a Tony Award last year for Best Musical Revival and was the most awarded musical of last year, and I say it definitely deserved it. I've never seen something quite like it. Singing, dancing, acting, and even incredible acrobatics all in one show. With music and lyrics by Stephen Schwartz and a jaw-dropping choreography by Chet Walker to tell the adventures of King Charlemagne's son, Pippin, played by Matthew James Thomas, to find the meaning to his life. Pippin will definitely take your breath away. The entire cast did a phenomenal job, but Patina Miller, who was the lead female role, gave me chills right from the beginning during the opening act when she started off the song Magic to Do. So it's no wonder that she won last year's Tony for Best Performance by an actress in a leading role in a musical. I highly recommend seeing Pippin, but however, I wouldn't recommend it to young children. But no matter what, you won't be disappointed. Thank you.
Thank you, Chloe. Now, I just have one question. Did you find them to be interactive with the audience? Because I find when I see a lot of musicals, when they perform the numbers, I always find them to be performing it to us. Or was it different?
Not so much at Pippin, but it was still really good.
But other musicals like Wicked, have you seen Wicked?
Yeah, I
that
have.
one was good.
Yeah, it was very good.
Thank you, Chloe. And now coming up next, we have the community pieces with Vanessa and Victoria. Now, Vanessa, what's going on in Montreal?
If you're a teenager and love to dance, well, keep on listening because I have some great news for you. Every Wednesday, teens between the ages 12 to 14 can register to get 20 sessions to dance your heart out. The gathering point is 13101 Gouin Boulevard from 7:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. For more information, you can contact Casey Waldman at kwaldman@ymywha.com. Are you the kind of person that loves to look at new pieces of art? Well, you're just in luck. For the whole month of March and first week of April, Sini Mazu Park will be featuring over 55 pieces of art by more than 30 artists every day. The location is 3575 Park Avenue inside La Galerie du Parc at the corner of Park Avenue and Prince Arthur Street. Admission is free and is wheelchair accessible. Now to Victoria with Villa News.
Thanks, Vanessa. I'm Victoria here with your Villa Community Updates. Villa Maria's Mothers Guild is having a fundraiser comedy night Saturday, March 22nd at 7 p.m. All proceeds benefit us Villa girls funding and education. The Haiti School Initiative is looking for girls to join the committee. This will be to raise money for a girls' school in Haiti. The Healthy Mind, Healthy Body International Bake Sale is coming up soon. Tomorrow, Thursday, is the day to come by and pick up some baked goods from all different types of cultures. Villa Maria Talent Show tickets are also on sale. In other news, the Sec 4 law class taught by Miss Kurtz will be given the opportunity to go see an actual jury trial this Thursday. This is sure to be a great experience for these girls. Also, the Secondary 4 art class taught by Miss Long is currently working on a mural with the French side art students. With the help of an artist, they're basing their work on the artist Marc Chagall and are truly inspired by his work. I spoke with Jade Wolfrat, one of the students working on the project, and she said Marc Chagall's artwork is very soft and uses lots of gradients. He also brings in other elements like animals, objects, and buildings. They will be using many vibrant colors, and we look forward to the end result. Now back to your host, Kira. I'm Victoria for Real Radio, Real Girls, Radio Villa Maria.
Now here we have Holly on model scouting and its impacts on young women. Holly?
Everyone thinks that modeling is all about the fame and the money. They think that since they're skinny, it will be a very easy way for them. They will be able to show off their great bodies for a living, which isn't true at all. What our society considers skinny is considered plus size in the modeling industry. Modeling scouts go into normal places like shopping malls, fairs, and McDonald's. They look for girls who are tall and slim. They treat you as if you're going to be the next Miranda Kerr and tell you that you're so beautiful. Since the goal is to have a weight around 110 pounds, a height of 5'9", and a waist of 22 inches, the possible models have to go on a strict diet of very light and healthy foods. To go further into the modeling business, the agency makes sure that the young girls have a good posture, good bone structure, and are naturally photogenic. We have Alexa here who can tell us about her experiences with modeling. Hi, Alexa. How are you?
Hi, Holly. I'm good. You?
I'm good, thank you. While doing photo shoots, do the photographers tell you exactly what to do, or do you have a little bit of freedom?
Most of the time they tell me what to do, but sometimes I kind of like to be playful and show my personality into my pictures. I don't just want to look like I'm a statue in my pictures.
In some of the pictures when you're smiling, are you faking the smiles or are you genuinely happy?
I am happy because I'm doing the photo shoots. I actually like what I do. Some of them, like fake laughing pictures, some of those are like photographers saying, okay, give me a fake laugh.
How do you get the job done while still staying true to yourself?
I get the job done fairly well because I don't believe that everything has to, you have to look perfect in the modeling industry. I don't think you necessarily have to be on point with everything. Anything that any agency says to me, either your hips are too big or your neck isn't long enough or you're not tall enough, I don't even take those into consideration. I like myself and I find myself actually fairly pretty.
So you just brush off the rude comments that they make?
Yeah.
In your opinion, do you think modeling is worth risking someone's health for?
No. I don't think you should. If you're going into that industry and you have, let's say your agent's telling you, one of my friends actually has a eating schedule. She has to eat a specific thing at a specific time every single day. It's very bad. I have told her to switch agents, and she says, but this agent makes me a lot of money. I have great photo shoots. But seriously, if people do that to you and they're telling you what to eat and how to look, it's just not right.
So you think it's crazy that people lose enough weight that they become anorexic?
Oh yeah.
Thank you so much for your time, Alexa.
No problem.
And if you do want to go into the modeling industry, just be aware of how they truly are.
Thank you, Holly. Thank you, Alexa. And I feel like actually that was really important for girls our age to hear, because I feel like we all have this really wrong perception of what modeling really is, and I think it's really glamorized, and I think people realize how hard it truly is. And I really think that people need to hear that. Thank you so much. now for the moment we've been waiting for. So today we have a special guest with us. She's a radio personality who's been working in the business since she was very young. She was 13 years old when she started out. She also spends her free time working to defend and protect animal rights. She's funny, she's quirky, and of course, she's a girl. Stay tuned. You're listening to Radio Villa Maria.
Thank you, Kira. Today we're extremely lucky. We have the pleasure of talking to a real radio host. We have Miss Nat Lozon from 92.5 The Beat Radio here.
Hey!
Hi, Nat.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. How are you all? Good? It's okay. You can talk. It's radio. They can't see you. You can say hi. There's a lot of people in this room.
I was reading some things on your website, and I have to say, you have an amazing sense of humor.
Thank you.
No problem. I love the sarcasm. For those of you who don't know, actually, Nat starts off her bio with, "I'm not a jerk."
Right. I am not a jerk, although sometimes, on weekends. I don't know. I do have it in me, Victoria. I can be a jerk, but
I don't believe
I
that.
won't be during this interview.
Oh, thank you. It makes my job a little easier.
All right.
Okay, so a question for you. So how did you get interested in radio?
How did I get interested? I have to say it was a very strange turn of events. I was 13. I was listening to the radio, and they had a commercial on the radio that said, "Hey, do you want to be a radio announcer? We need part-time radio announcers." And I was like,
Wow.
"Yes, I do. Yes, I will go." And so I went
That's so
in, I
cool.
did a little voice test, I read some stuff, and they were like, "Okay, you can read a sentence, come on in, and you can get started."
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So you were 13 when this started. That's
I
awesome.
was, yeah.
Wow.
That was 10 years ago.
I believe you.
You do? All right.
I do believe you.
Who's buying that in this room? No one. No one's buying it at all.
So seeing as you were young and also a woman in a man's world, was it tough for you back then?
You know what? Not really, because being sort of the youngest person at a radio station when I was 13, people kind of took me under their wing, more of like a little sister type dynamic, and just taught me how to do everything from working boards to editing tape to being on the air, mixing music, all kinds of stuff. So no, I didn't find it hard at all. It was more of a, like I felt like the little sister, and they were just trying to help me out. So
that's good then.
Yeah.
So like today, is it any different? Or?
I guess it can be. Radio's a little bit different in that I think it's often been perceived as sort of a boys' club, a male kind of dominated industry. Like you don't really hear females who have a lead as a morning show, or like, they're usually paired with a guy, that kind of thing. So it's still like that in some ways. But I don't think it's too difficult though as a woman today.
That's good then.
Yeah.
So outside of radio, what do you like to do?
What do I like to do? Well, you and I were talking about Netflix earlier.
Yes, we were.
So I have to say, I like sitting on my couch in my jammies watching House of Cards. But aside from that, I'm a big animal person. I started a blog a few years ago. We help adopt out pets and give information to pet owners, that kind of thing. I don't know. I mean, hanging out with my own dogs, hanging out with my friends, movies, dinners. Yeah.
You live a good life then.
I live a great life, Victoria. I am never in detention.
It's been 2 years.
The things we learn off the air about each other.
So, I read on your website that you did some work on YTV. I know that when we were younger, we probably all watched YTV. So is there any characters that we might recognize?
It's not going to be as exciting as you think, because basically for YTV, I did an intro for a show. It was called The Adrenaline Project. Did you ever watch that?
Yes.
You ring a bell? Yeah?
So that was my show.
That was yours? Really?
I love that show.
No
I watched
way.
it every day.
Okay. For real, or are you just saying
No, I swear to God. I swear to God. I promise.
Look me in the eye.
We're tight.
Okay.
I promise.
So it was just me, basically. Yeah. Welcome to the Adrenaline Project, blah, blah, blah. And
That's
at the end, I said something to a prizes you could win, or that kind of thing. Yeah, so
cool.
It wasn't like a character voice or anything, but just kind of like a voiceover for the show.
It's still pretty cool, though.
Which is still fun, yeah. It's a great job.
Yeah. Well, that's all we have for today.
No, I want more time.
Okay, so then... So give us a review on House of Cards.
I only watched one episode, no spoilers. Okay. No, I'm good.
Okay, so Nat, do you have any advice for people who want to break into the business?
Sure. My advice would be to actually hang out at radio stations as an intern. Not just hang outside the door and knock, 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 do blowfishes on the window, not that kind of thing, but try and get in on an internship program. The Beat, for instance, does an internship program. Every summer we recruit people, and you basically go out, you hand out free things. We have our vans parked outside of the Bell Center during concerts, and we give away bags and that kind of thing. And so, yeah, I mean, an internship is a great way to start, and then you sort of get your foot in the door, and I've seen many, many people start from interns and then become employees. So just prove yourself dependable when you are not working for money, and eventually they'll want to hire you.
Well, I'll definitely go do that then.
All right. Perfect. We'll see you at work then.
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much. I'm Victoria for Radio Villa Maria. Back to you, Kira.
That's it for our show today. Thank you to our guests Ciara, Melanie, Holly, and Nat Lozone. And a big thank you to the producers Sharman, Yarnell, and Miss Long. You're listening to Real Radio, Real Girls. Montreal, have a great day and make the best of the rest.